Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made, your way.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Mowat, Gushue, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and off-break curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Curling Stadium's coverage of draw number 2 at the 2025 Saville Grand Prix. My name's Jim Nix. Connor Sims on production and maybe offer the odd word of wisdom every now and then. And we are at the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, Alberta. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I had it written on my notes wrong. This afternoon, we have Ryan Jacques of Calgary taking on Dustin Kalthoff of Saskatoon. Both teams are starting the event today, really, right now, except for Ryan Jacques did win a game this morning over Stocker of Switzerland when they couldn't get here. So all the teams in this division will end up with a default win. So Ryan Jacques is sitting actually at 1-0, and Kalthoff at 0-0 right now. So just getting underway. The draw to the button happened just a few minutes ago with Ryan Jacques securing hammer by virtue of that draw. We'll give a rundown on the teams here shortly, and we'll go from there. Ryan, kind of a colleague here at the Curling Stadium. He does some production, he does some commentaries. He's always involved when he's not playing himself, but today he's on the ice. And looking for a hack weight on this Yellowstone or clip the top one. Can't remove the top one yet, but he can move it because it's not on the center line. And giving us an excellent demonstration of what they actually want here. Sometimes we have to just guess. This one's pretty precise. He wants hack weight, and he just wants to move it out of the 12-foot. A left-hander, a lot of left-handers it seems this year. I don't know where they all came from, but we've done 3 or 4 events, and I seem to see more left-handers than I ever saw. Working hard to hold this. Will he sneak it by? He will not, but he might accomplish plan B if that one hangs around, and he will do that. So not a bad shot at all. That was certainly an adequate option on that shot. So lead for Ryan Jacques is Tyson Taves. And second stone now for Dustin Kalthoff. I have down as being Josh Height. And very nice. And this person has a name on the back of his jacket who I do not have on the sheet here. So we'll have to maybe try to figure out exactly who is playing, because that looked like, unless I read it wrong, looked like Jacobson on the back of the sweater and not Height. Should be Derek Bowser for Ryan Jake's team. Ryan got the broom down, but this looks fine. They're trying to make it curl a little bit. They want to stay with this, and don't know if he's going to. And he will just roll out. Just a little heavy or a little too much ice or a little wide. One of those little things. He was close, just not quite there. That happens quite often in the first end when you haven't had a chance to see the whole sheet yet. Sometimes it happens when you do see the whole sheet, but he was close. Looking for a hit on the red. Trying to get it over. Looks like he's going to be okay. He doesn't want to jam it. Going to touch it. Will it go out? It will not. So just a little late on the brushes there. Had to get on that just a little bit sooner to make sure that he didn't touch that back one because there wasn't a ton of weight on it. Looks like another team that don't throw exactly in the order of positions on the ice. Seems like this year particularly, we've seen a whole lot of these third calling the game, throwing third. Yeah, thirds that are calling the game, but throwing third, and skips that are just throwing the last two. Or fourth rock thrower, I guess we would call it. So technically the skip is the person that's calling the game, except unless you're a top end player that they sometimes let you get away with something else. So this looks pretty good. And he will just roll a little bit. It's okay. So Team Kalthoff now also looking for a hack weight shot. Jake's in a decent position here. And that will work out okay. But does leave Ryan Jacques in a really nice spot right now. They can't. The yellow one at the top is a bit of a concern, but as long as they can keep hitting and staying on this back rock, they will prevent Kalthoff from using that top one and see how this goes. So now we have Cole Adams, the third stone for Jacques. Again, trying to make it curl on this side. I think he's going to be okay this time. They don't want to curl too much. Very well done. So Jake's sitting 2. It's not real heavy either, but should do the job. Want to hang around, get a little roll maybe. Not going to quite get over there, but not a bad spot. It's Brent Pierce. Back to Cole Adams again. Would like to just roll away a little bit. Needs to be sitting 2 after this, as he was the last shot. Another rock. This is certainly not very heavy either. This might take a little bit of effort to make sure it doesn't over curl. No, he looks like he's going to be okay. Now they're going to try to carve it a little bit. Actually trying to look for the inside roll. It's a good shot. I just don't know for sure that that's where you would have wanted to go. So Kalthoff now going to play a draw. And man, he has got 5.5, call it 6 feet of ice to get over there. So we'll see if it will actually move that much. This morning's game, it certainly curled hard, but I don't know that it curled quite that much. But he can't afford to hit that top one either, so. See how draw weight is for Dustin Kalthoff. Pretty delicate looking touch there for Dustin. I haven't seen him this year. I did see him a couple times last year, so. But I don't know if he's got the weight here. Guys are going pretty hard on this. I don't know that he's going to get there. And he will not. And Ryan Jacques in a great spot. Not only that, it created a stagger on those front two, which does not help at all. This could be a senior team, you know. It's I'm just trying to think, looking at the guys, and they look like they'd be possibly in that 50-plus range, which would maybe explain a little bit more why Brent Pierce would be playing here and not in BC, where we traditionally see him from. So Jacques now with a chance to really put the pressure on Dustin Kalthoff in the first end. If he puts this rock around those guards and just the top of the forefoot, even full forefoot, don't want to be too much deeper than that, he will put the heat on Dustin Kalthoff greatly here in the first end, and be in a great position to score multiple points. So here it comes from Ryan. You don't want to be heavy here. Of course, you don't want to be light either, so it looks a little bit warm right now. Coming in, but you know what? It looks not bad, but it's not good. Potentially giving up the big end here with just making a decent shot. It's nice draw weight for Ryan, but really just needed to be 2 feet shorter than that, and it would have been a dandy. Instead, that's Kalthoff certainly still in trouble here. He's got to make a very good shot. If he ever bounces off that, Ryan's going to have an open hit for 4. And that's if his weight's good. So he's out a little further again. So here he comes. A little bit short last time. So then tendency would be to add a little bit, because he probably needs to do that, but also has to be careful he doesn't add too much. Guys are looking at it now. They did sweep a little bit. Now they're kind of just watching. This has got to curl. Getting there. It's getting there, and he could be very good. That is a pretty darn good shot. It might be possible for Ryan Jacques to do something with it. Not completely sure. He's actually looking at something on an angle. Probably have to be that back yellow if he was going to do that. I'm sure he doesn't want to give up on the thoughts of scoring more than 1 here. So he'll look at this pretty hard. It might be worth taking a run at it. It's just if you run a yellow one, you also worry about whether you give up just 1. Right now he does have shot rock, so do you want to go for 3 or 4, or do you want to just say, look, let's take our 1 and try to make a little delicate tap back, maybe on the yellow for 2? It would be hard, but it's probably there. You guys play really tight to the guard. and you need to be about back 4 foot for weight. No more than that, I don't think, or you won't get enough curl. We just saw how much it will curl. I mean, it just comes a ton. That rock looked like it was going to be wide open for most of the way down the sheet, and even probably halfway from the hog line to the house, it still looked like it was going to be wide open, but it finished very strong. Guys are looking hard. They're thinking if they can hit this yellow, probably 2/3 on this yellow rock, picks the other yellow, sends it through the hole. He scores 3. And really, it has a little bit of risk, but I don't know that it has a ton of risk, because I don't think it'd be very, very unlucky to hit your own and have it stay to give up 2. So I think it's worth a go. Ryan's going to go. Somebody's calling timeout. Not quite sure who. I'm not quite sure this is. I don't know if the guy that called the timeout is a guy that's usually on the team. He doesn't seem to have quite the same jacket, or maybe it's because he has a jacket on and not the vest like the other guys do. So really they're looking at, I think, only 2 options. Well, probably 3 options. One is to play that angle slash. Second one would be to try to play the little come around tap back on the yellow for, most likely it would be for 2 if you made a great shot. And the only other shot really is almost to throw it away. I'd be happy with your 1. I don't look at that as a real great option. Taking a long time, though, for a shot this early in the game. And we do have, I think, a coach now out for this. I'm not sure who that is, but they're going to have a quick chat about it. It's the only problem with the game. Sometimes the games are taking a long time, it seems, this year, but sometimes when they do call these timeouts, there's no clocks anywhere, so it really doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be able to tell them to go faster or slower or whatever, but yeah, just look at the overhead there. You can have a pretty good look at what that seems to be. But anyway, on that, the problem is they talk usually for 2 or 3 or 4 minutes and then decide to call the timeout. Well, if you're going to have a timeout, I just assume you call it right away, or almost right away, as soon as you can. Once you realize that it's a good chance you're going to have to call the timeout, call it, because these games are dragging on, no question about it. We're usually a couple minutes late starting, not always much, but so now it looks like, I don't know, to be honest. I can't imagine. Well, you could. What would happen? I guess you could come by there as tight as you can with weight. I thought he might come by there with just delicate weight, but come by here with weight. Red probably jams on the other red. The yellow goes out and your shooter goes out, and you probably can get 2. That way, I never considered that. So in my shot options, I didn't really consider that, probably because I don't kind of have that shot in my back pocket. So I tend to forget about those. Ryan Jacques now getting ready for his last rock here in the first end. Has 1 if he wants to settle and take 1, but he doesn't want to do that. So he's going to play this shot for a potential 2, and maybe somewhere along the way it might even be a chance at 3, although I'm doubtful on the 3. But so Ryan comes out, lets it go pretty smooth. Should be close here. Getting on it to keep it a little bit straight. Got to get it by the guard as close as he can. And look at that. That is a great shot by Ryan Jacques. After all that was much easier looking than I thought. You'll have another look at it. Ryan comes out, didn't throw a rocket. I thought he was throwing it harder than this. He just threw a nice takeout weight, but nothing big. And really, this is a good sweep call and good sweeping. And this was far easier than I thought it was going to be. Those rocks really went out quite easily. So Ryan Jacques takes a 3-0 lead after 1 end to play here at the Saville Grand Prix, and we'll be right back after the break.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made, your way.
No, that'd be Jacob Jacobson. So we're back with Ryan Jacques having a 3-0 lead after a very nice final shot in the first stand to score 3. Just for those of you who are wondering, and we do have an update on the lineup. Just a quick update at second stone for Kalthoff is Jason Jacobson and not Josh Height. Apparently they do have a 5-man team, and Josh is drew the short straw this week and won't be playing. And now we know, and we know everybody else is the way we thought it was, so all good. So Brent Pierce in the house for Team Kalthoff, calling the game. No big surprise. Brent's played at a lot of different levels, a lot of different positions, and he's very well-known player in his age group for sure, and still throws a rock pretty darn good. So we'll come around the corner here. Sweepers both getting over on the same side to try to kind of carve it in. Actually, just to get the one guy carving in. A great shot. Very nicely done by Logan Eade. So Ryan can't really do much with those 2 rocks yet, so he's going to play the draw. Looked like he called for it to draw out of the back in front of the other one. That would seem a little tiny bit odd to me, but that's what it looked like he called for. But either way, it's the outturn come around somewhere behind that guard. Guys working pretty hard on this. Got lots of room. I don't know if they have to go very hard on this. Very nicely done. Second stone, Derek Bauer. Good shot by Derek there. This is tough. 3-0 after one end. You know, it's a significant number of points to be down right out of the gate. But at the same time, you don't want to turn this into another single or double or whatever you want to call it. So he's allowed to hit everything that's out there now. I guess he was allowed to hit those anyway. They're in the house, but I thought he might play the hit and try to roll to the corner and just give himself a couple corners to work with, but he's going to come around, coming right around to the back one. This is Jason Jacobson, as we mentioned. Second stone. And this one's going to have to curve it in there, and it will be a little bit deep and a little bit too far back. It's still in the house, but not super useful. Ryan Jacques now going to look to curl or peel the corner. See the signal? He tapped the top of his head, for those of you who are wondering. Not just because he got a haircut and he's cold, but because that's their peel weight signal, which is not that uncommon. Anything up there is usually peel weight. Some people will just wave their arm in the air higher. They'll tap the shoulder. They'll do a couple things like that that indicate just peel weight. So this one looks pretty good. Should get them both. Will he get it out? He will not. That is a bit of an unlucky break, but still, it is only number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be a challenge to bring that one into play for Team Kalthoff. Shape call, looking to draw to the back one. Just a little more protection if you go to the back one, and there's no great hurry to be shot rock. So if you go to the back one, it will be a challenge for Jacques to remove it. If you draw to the middle one, he's going to probably run the center, which he might do now anyways. Run the center, but if he runs it towards your rock and makes contact, it's probably gone. This way, it'd be very hard for him to remove this rock in one shot, provided he gets it on the back one somewhere. And again, has to curl a mile. But it moves so hard. I got to stop saying that because they always get in there. That's a very, very nice shot by Jacobson. Beauty. $20 teams in the sponsor bill. Well, I guess only 19 now with Stalker being unable to make it, but they are playing pools, 4 pools of 5 teams each. Not quite sure how the playoffs work yet, but it's probably something like the top 2 in each pool, or the winner of the pool and the 4 best next records. We'll find that out for you over the next day or so and let you know how that's going to work. Ryan contemplating what to play here. Does seem a little bit confused by this. Looking to hit that back one. If you ever miss this a tiny little bit tight, you might be able to squeeze the other one out. Going to go have a look at it. This is Cole Adams, as we said earlier. Sometimes you just can't see it good enough from down there, even though you know what he wants, and you might not even totally disagree, but you want to know what it actually looks like from down there. I don't see much advantage in hitting the back one, but again, you've got a 3-point lead. You don't want to leave too many of the opposition rocks around. I actually like this call better. It's pretty early in the game. It's okay to keep a little bit of aggression going here. And I actually like this one better than hit. If you're going to hit one, I'd rather hit this one than hit the one that's at the back of the 12-foot. Looking for a peel weight again. Mostly because they probably haven't been out here. They don't want to throw anything that will be a surprise to them when it curls or doesn't curl. And usually if you keep the weight up, it's going to be pretty hard for it to curl. Cole Adams looks like a young guy. All the young guys can throw it hard and throw it straight. So just holding it out there. This should be fine. Maybe going to curl a little too much. Will he get over there? And he will. Very nicely done. Great shot. Have another look. You can see that they sweepers didn't do too much with it. A little bit of cleaning. Derek Bauer, well, maybe a little more than just clean, but not terribly hard. Trying to save it, get it over on the other yellow, little tap. It does leave a good pocket for Kalthoff, but it's going to move it. Not sure if Brent's going to like that one or not, because he was calling all those freezes when he was in the house, so he may like to just play the freeze again. He certainly could lock it in there where it never goes anywhere. Just trying to sort out the weight. Brent's asking, is it you looking for hack weight or? And it seems like that's what he's asking for. He must be trying to go around, pick the red one off the top of the 4-foot. Seems like a very difficult shot, but at some point you got to move that rock. So he's going to try it now. It's on its way. You see Brent's still throwing a pretty nice rock, even if he's 50 something. And I don't even know that. I should probably not say that till I check it out. And tell you what, that's well done. And even gets it out. So he's sitting 1-2. That's a heck of a shot. I would not have thought that was possible. Had to have another look here. Guys are working on it. Not crazy hard, but they're working on it. They're on and off, keeping the brooms down in case they get called on. Now they're go back and forth between trying to make it curl and keep it straight, and he just sneaks it by. And then Dustin jumps on it and gets just enough out of it to be sitting 2 after that shot. That's pretty impressive. That was a heck of a curling shot. This looks like it could be a dandy as well. If it doesn't over curl, looks pretty good. Oh, very nicely done again. Although I do think that you can get rid of both of those reds, but it might take your yellow. It's possible it might take the yellow. So lots of backing. There can be very little excuse for being light on this shot when you have 6 rocks. Guarding everything straight behind the 4-foot can never make it through. So Pierce throwing an out-turn draw. Sweeper's indicating first that it looked like it had enough, but that's changed. They're going pretty good on it now. Actually, now they're off for line. This could be very nice. Ooh, got to get it there now, though. Got to get it there now. Oh, no, not good. Sweepers won't be happy with themselves there, I don't think, unless somebody was calling them off pretty hard. But that's really a sweeper's call, the weight on that, and really never came close. Didn't really outcount anything in the house. So, yeah, too bad. Especially with all those rocks back there. By the way, for those that wonder, Brent Pierce is actually 56 years old and has been to 4 Briars, the most recent of which was just 3 years ago in 2022. All in BC. Normally curls out of New Westminster, the Royal City Curling Club. Been to 1 World Championship, and that's all I've got on him. So Ryan Jacques now with sitting pretty nice, actually. Ryan pretty deliberate with the pre-shot routine. If you're going to have one, and you should have one, it's good to have it be pretty consistent. This one might be light. Don't think they're going to get that there. I'm not quite sure where they're trying to get to, but wow, they maybe. That is a great sweeping job. I thought that was light for sure. It's not quite the same looking at it here on the screen than it is if you were there, but very nice sweeping job. Ryan acknowledges that with a little fist bump for the front end guys. So lots of discussion here. That one did slide actually a little bit deep, but man, there's not a lot of room to work for Dustin Kalthoff here. So Dustin Kalthoff's trying to go right in on top of the red. And if he can make this, he could put himself in a, well, first of all, take himself out of a lot of trouble, which he's in right now, and put him in a position where he might find a way to get 2, although I'll tell you what, right now, that's not looking very realistic. Has to find that perfect weight that just allows it to go pretty much on its own and just have the sweepers kind of tidy it up and things like that as they go. This could be close. Oh, great shot. Man, these guys they have got some draw weight, these players. That is just a great shot. Ryan here could probably think about this in a couple of ways. First of all, it's not necessary for him to score right now, but so find a way to keep Kalthoff from getting 2, and you've done your job here for sure. I don't think I get too excited about trying to score because I think it's very difficult, and all you're going to end up doing is making it a little bit easier for him to get 2. So why bother with that? Ryan just looking to really just guard this intern side, figuring there's no way for Kalthoff to get a second rock in on the out turn. I would probably agree on that. It might be there, but it's really, really, really difficult. You have to move that top yellow one a little bit, create a little tiny bit of space to spin in. Just crazy hard. So same idea here. Don't be heavy on this. And sweepers will get it over the line and then come off because it's going to curl too much. And didn't really do anything, to be honest. It looks like it did, but it really didn't. So those shots you just got to take enough ice on those shots. And it's hard to commit yourself with that sometimes. And you got to remember, if you're ever wondering, is that, you can leave a hole the width of the rock and they can't get through it. And to be quite honest, most of the time, if you're gonna play that, even if you leave a hole that, is an extra couple of inches, and they in theory could get through it, the odds of them getting through it and going exactly the right direction and weight is very minimal. So I'm not talking about leaving a 3-foot wide hole, but either way, I'm not so sure that he can make this for 2 anyways. But he's just saying that Ryan's shot didn't really change anything as far as Dustin's shot goes. So here it comes anyways. We'll try to figure out if they can find room for a second stone here. And I'll tell you what, it'll be one heck of a shot if he does. Line's pretty good. I just don't know exactly where to get to score. So, and he can't quite get there. That was a really, really, really tough shot. So at the end of this end, Kalthoff will pick up 1. Yellow will score 1 here in the second end, and Ryan Jacques will take the hammer to end number 3 with a 3-1 lead. Men's, and we're away to commercial, back after the break.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
So we're back quickly. And we are in end number 4. Ryan Jacques scoring 1. Ryan Jacques out of Calgary scoring 3 in the first end. And Dustin Kalthoff scoring on just a 1 here in the second end. Dustin curls out of Saskatoon. He didn't really have a realistic shot at 2 there. It was maybe a shot you can make 1 every 25 times or something like that. It was just a very, very difficult shot to get a couple. So Ryan Jacques now will have that 2-point lead going into end number 3. And feeling probably pretty good about the game so far. Come right around with this. Man, oh man, they go sideways when they finish. That last, whatever that'd be, what, 4 or 5, let's call it last 4 to 6 feet. They just swoop right in and probably move about 2 feet, 2.5 feet in that last 4 or 5 feet. So Brent Pierce calling the game here for Kalthoff. Asking for the come around. Just short. So a couple of pretty good guards for the team Kalthoff here as we work our way through this end early on at least. Logan E doing his job pretty well. It'd be nice if those were spread apart a little bit, but I don't think that was the call, so can't do anything about that. Tyson Taves now. Looking to just draw the open side. Call we don't see very much anymore, but I think there's a place for it still in the game, but it just doesn't get called very often. So Pierce now going to ask second stone Jason Jacobson. Well, change of call. Kalthoff's decided he doesn't really like that. I don't think they're on the same page here at all in this shot. Dustin Kalthoff looking to go, I think, right around it to the button. And I kind of agree with Pierce here. I don't know that this is the best idea. The guards are gone the next shot. You see on the overhead, pretty simple task to get rid of the yellows. But you also are only down 3-1. You don't want to play yourself into 2 or 3 here. And this one's going to go back a little ways, just behind the forefoot. And Ryan, as expected, going out to take off the yellows. You do want to get them both here. It's a simple enough shot that you don't want to be satisfied with just getting one. We're back. We just kind of had a little, what appears to maybe be a technical glitch there. Good shot by Bauer, Derek Bauer. Open that up. Still guards out there, though. So enough for the Kalthoff Pierce foursome to work with for sure. And they actually have shot at the moment, so not a bad scenario right now.
Power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos.
Not bad. All right, Jake's looking to play his own onto the yellow and sit 2-3 when this is done, number 2 and number 3. Been working hard on this, and they're going to get it. Roll everything over there, sitting, actually shot. I didn't think that could happen, but he's sitting number 1, number 3, number 4, so much better setup. Very nice shot there by Derek Bauer. Not an easy one. Right, just having a look to see where this red one goes. Should Kalthoff decide to hit it? And he will. Yeah, a little change of plan going right around here. Probably makes the most sense at this point. Could make a play on the red. It's on the top of the forefoot. Roll over towards the reds up in the 12-foot area, but you're then playing just strictly to force. Here you're trying to maybe get a little bit of an either or. Trying to steal, but also trying to be aware that you can force Ryan to 1. And that would be a good result. Yeah, that's not so good. Came up very, very short. And they are in some trouble now. If Jacques can make this, change this scenario up a little bit, he can certainly get to the back one. Problem is, if he gets to the back one and stays right there, he hasn't really helped much. Derek Bauer's going to have a look with Ryan. They're just trying to see where the red goes, the yellow-red combination goes. If Connor, you got an overhead. I don't know if those rocks are all in it or not, but yeah, you can have a look there. So he's just trying to figure out, well, what happens when I hit this and where does it go? And it's possible you could run the red onto the yellow, but, you know, I don't know. Got somebody laying down in the background. That's probably Kalthoff. I don't know if he's just got a back problem or something that's makes him need to lay down. I would assume that would be the case. Oh, we're going to have a group chat again. As Dave Schmel would say, this would be now visit number 2. I am trying to wave them up. Oh, just going to call Cole down to have a look. Think we have any mics on anybody this week, so we don't hear what's going on out there, but it's going to be interesting. You could take the approach that you wanted to get rid of this, and I think if I was going to hit this, I would hit it. If we look at it on the overhead, I'd hit it probably slightly off nose or on nose and have the red go back, hit the red in the forefoot on the left-hand side a little bit, and then it goes back and takes out the yellow and you'd sit 3 or 4. That's what I would do if I'm going to play that shot. I'm just not convinced that that's the shot I'm playing. But we're going to see what they're going to do. It's a little bit tough. Like I say, Ryan with a 2-point lead and hammer here. So in a very, very good position. You'd rather not turn it into a real mess here and end up with a really hard final shot here. But you kind of hate taking out your own shot rock too. And maybe you don't even get it out. I would hope I'd get both these rocks out front, both the red and the yellow. Thanks, Connor. Cole Adams now. And trying to hold it straight. Hit it over the top. Well, yeah, not exactly what he wanted, but it looked like there was a good chance that was going to happen. So it shouldn't come as a big surprise. Tough decision there. He could have ignored all that and said, well, forget that. We're going to stay on the aggressiveness, stay on the aggressive side. And I kind of like that better. I think it's sometimes it's hard when you switch to trying to defend a couple-point lead and don't go with what got you there kind of stuff. So Brent Pierce now throwing the third stones for Team Kalthoff and calling the game. I sneak by this front one. Looks like the line is pretty good. And there it goes. Want to be at least full 8 foot, I think. And that's where he'll be. So nicely done. Again, another opportunity. There's certainly the possibility of getting rid of all of them here and getting rid of, if not all of them, at least getting the 2 that are in the house. Definitely a possibility. But carries a bit of risk too. So Adams, his final one here in the third. And he'll get that one, and unfortunately leave it worse, to be honest. He didn't change anything as far as the Yellowstone just go and added another guard. That's not a good result. Gotta really know exactly where you're trying to hit rocks and where you can't hit rocks. And sometimes that's tough, but I don't think that was I don't think they had that one lined up so good. So Dustin Kalthoff with his first here in the third end. This draws in pretty nicely. Ryan's got some work cut out for him now. Needs to get rid of a couple here for sure. At least move that rock off the 4-foot. Probably if you could get the one he's hitting and the whack on the 4-foot, that would be pretty good. Kalthoff will no doubt play the same shot, but may not be horrible. Ooh, Derek Bauer took a little bit of a spill trying to get going there, but fortunately, I think they're not going to need him on this one. Well, they got the back two. That's better than not. They don't always seem to have the exact right spot where they want to hit these rocks, or they hit it where they want to, but they're not the right spots to make the double or the hit and roll or something. But anyway, got rid of two. Forces Kalthoff to decide, do I go in again? And where, if I do? Do I go? He could go out, turn, sit right on top of his rock that's partially in behind the red. Could do that. But some of it comes with some risk. You got to decide here. You don't want to be giving Ryan a shot at a double, because if he ever makes it, he's getting a bundle. But they've almost decided. So coming right around, I'm still not exactly sure how deep they want to go on this, but we'll know pretty quickly. Dustin Kalthoff throwing the 4 stones for this team. His team, but he doesn't actually call the game. This could be a touch heavy. You don't really want to go all the way through, and where will it end up? He'll get back. How did he go far enough? He did. Far enough for Ryan Jacques to have a shot at 2. Just a little bit heavy on that. Even if that stops a rock, maybe even only a half a rock short of that, then at least he doesn't give up more than 1. Now he hasn't given it up yet. It's not the easiest of shots, but still. So Ryan Jacques out of Calgary. Set arm in there, locked in there, and almost feels uncomfortable watching him do that, but it's the way he likes it. That's all that matters. Looked a hair tight to me right out of his hand. Almost like he held on to it a little tiny bit too long. Will Bauer be able to hold it? Can he hold it? And he will. Now they'll probably take over, and this is going to be a very nice shot by Ryan Jacques. If he gets it far enough, he won't get it far enough for two. He will score. I spoke a tiny little bit too soon. Not an easy shot, but at least a single for Ryan Jacques there, and that's not bad. And he will take a 4-1 lead when we come back for the fourth end.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
So back for end number 4 with Ryan Jacques holding a 4-1 lead over Dustin Kalthoff. Probably a fairly even game so far. It's been a few misses along the way, enough to keep it interesting. It's been some nice shots. Some very nice draws for sure. So Tyson Taves now will look to throw his second shot, I guess, here in the fourth end. Just had to do a little count on rocks there. And this one's not going to, yeah, I guess they're going to take it in regardless of where it ends up. Definitely perfect line, just probably a little tiny bit deep, but he might have been trying to go in. It's not that uncommon. It's usually a little bit later, though, they tend to try to go right in. So double corners up for the Kalthoff team. Haven't had a lot of discussion on the double corners, and I don't have the chat open today. I can't get it to open, so I'm going to just leave it. But someday we should have a little chat on the chat about double corners, because I'm not as sold as some, and I feel like it was a little bit of a fad for a couple of years, and now I don't know how often it gets used. I also think there's a difference between the top 20 teams in the world playing the game and the next bunch of teams, because the strategy is not quite the same and the shot making ability is not quite the same. So whether that's on offense or defense. So Jacques gets the red ones guarded up pretty good. Derek Pierce looking to punch the middle one and roll to open side. He just wants to keep the guards around if he can. Even if they're not exactly where he wants them, he would like to rather have them there than not there, so. Boy, sweeper going hard on this all the way down the sheet. Now trying to make it curl. And they will get it out. He just might, and they won't, but pretty darn good effort. So, I mean, we've had a number of those quite nice shots today. We've just had some of the easier ones and few of the calls just a little bit more difficult to understand how and why those things are happening. But either way, Kalthoff just a small 3 points behind Jacques. And no sit there for Derek Bauer. So looking on where to go with this, Brent Pierce looking to tap this red back. Probably, if he can, get a slight flop inside. A little in-turn, or rather out-turn draw. And nicely done. So, some nice shots here. And Ryan says, enough of that. We got to get rid of this guard. We don't want to play ourselves into a messy end. Oh, I say that. Now it's changed again. He's going after the yellow. And we know they can make this shot because even though it looks quite difficult, it's been made 2 or 3 times in a row now. Or not in a row, but 2 or 3 times. Cole Adams' first shot here in the 4th end. And it's a big one. Can he get enough of it? Can he get enough? And they will. They won't get it by that one, but they get it far enough out that it's only number 3. Pierce has a decision to make whether or not he wants to, or Kalthoff rather has a decision to make whether he wants to play shots that will potentially bring that yellow one back into play or not. A tough task here to figure that out. But that's what they'll do. So Brent Pierce with the outturn. Really just a board or board plus weight shot. Some people might play this as control. Sneaking by that one, but going to roll out. That's not terribly helpful, but you know what? It did stay. And, you know, I don't know that it's closer than anything. It might be closer than the back red there on the right-hand side of the high view, the circle view. But, so you never know, but Ryan going to hit that yellow one at the back of the house. One's on its way again. Nice, just nice, easy takeout weight. And they've got it pretty nicely. Well done. Kalthoff, a decision as well. I don't mind the hitting in the top red. Make a double, you bring that other yellow into play. If you don't make the double, you sit 1-3. Could draw, but if Ryan gets another one in there, even if it's not shot or second shot, it's going to probably eliminate that yellow on the other side. So a little indecision, but they finally settled. Looking for the hit on the high one. Probably would like to make the double if they could. They may not get another shot at that. Curling a little bit. Can he get them both? He's really close. Great shot. Very nice. And rolled perfectly behind the guard. One more look. You can see this was done with not throwing tremendously big weight. Just really probably board or just a little bit more than board, I guess, maybe, but not very much. Almost curled too much on them. But a great call by whoever's in the house for that. Well, we got 1, 2, 3 for Kalthoff, I guess, was in the house for that. So really nice really nice broom call, sweeping call. Ryan's playing a draw here, which might surprise me a little bit. I might have thought he would play the run back. Run back, if you miss it, you could still give up 3, I agree, but that's what it is, just an out-turn draw. Ryan Jacques sends it on its way. Needs to curl if he wants to get to that one. It's pretty good. Would have liked to got just a little tiny bit further or stopped a little tiny bit shorter, one of the two, just to make sure they couldn't really do anything with it. I think it's gettable. Very tough, but gettable for sure. Because we see how much it curls in that last 6-7 feet. And if you look at where the guard is, there's all kinds of room to make this. Dustin Kalthoff now. And if he can make this, he can be in a position to tie this up, maybe even take the lead by the time this ends over. Kalthoff throwing a hit. Nicely done by Kalthoff. Ryan in some trouble. Chance for a double. Maybe a chance for a triple, but I think he'd be pretty happy with getting two of them. I would certainly be quite happy with getting two of them. Not the best played in by Team Jacques here. It's kind of a couple of calls I didn't really think were right, but just don't want to tick that top one. You need to just sneak it by, and if you do that, you should be able to get rid of a couple and get out of this with just maybe two. Cole Adams with the broom and the sweep call. Derek Bauer and Tyson Taves on the brooms. So here we go. Big shot here in end number 4. Pretty nice release, I thought, Brian, there on that shot. Can he get a little bit more curl out of it? He's going to be really close to getting a couple of them, but no, he will only get one. A nice try by Ryan Jacques. I thought a pretty nice throw, but a scary throw. It's just hard to make yourself go tight enough to that guard. And as a result, has left Dustin Kalthoff with a draw to the house, basically, for 3. And tie game. So Kalthoff has this one on its way, and sweepers are really not doing very much of anything. A little bit of clean, keep the broom down. Never like it when nobody keeps the broom down. And they will do that, and that one will stop fine. And Dustin Kalthoff will pick up a big 3-ender here in end number 4 at the 2025 Saville Grand Prix. It's the Saville Community Center you're watching on Curling Stadium, and we'll be back right after this break.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk? And I'll add spinach and ginger. And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
That's life. That's what all the people
Welcome to the rockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
So halfway through here, the Saville Grand Prix. Jim Nix and Connor Sims on production here today, bringing you this one on Curling Stadium, or the Curling Stadium Network. And we are in Edmonton at Saville Community Sports Center, where we have a dead tie between Ryan Jacques of Calgary and Dustin Kalthoff of Saskatoon, all tied up at 4. Ryan getting 3 in the first end, and Dustin getting 3 in the fourth end. So you can see we had a guard go up for Kalthoff, come around. It must have been a come around. Looks like really too tight to come around, but it had to for Ryan Jacques, and then a draw around for Kalthoff again, which just slid just behind the tee, or just behind the tee line, yeah, just back of the button. And Tyson Taves' second shot here in the fifth end, about to be delivered. Cole Adams going hard on the broom. Derek's going to help him a little bit. Now try to carve it in there. Boy, it's just amazing how much they break. Could almost have come out the other side on that shot. So very nice. Pierce will ask Jason Jacobson to do that same thing, but from the other side. The fifth member of this team, Josh Height, not in the lineup today. Kalthoff and Eid just watching this one. This one's going to go right through, I think. And it will. So, exact same shot, I suspect. Only difference is a different thrower. So Derek Bauer will now be asked to play the out-turn draw. Around, right on top of the button would be the plan. And nice clean release there for Derek. Young Guns on the front end. On the brush. Got to go hard now. I don't think he's going to get this one by. Just a little misstep there, and sweeper's not quite on that, or else it just dug in on them. They've been pretty darn accurate with the broom, so it makes me think it just kind of found a way to grind to the hull a little tiny bit. Because really, a solid 6 feet light. That's a big mistake by sweepers if it was a pure mistake, and I have a little trouble believing that one. So Jacobson with his second shot here in the fifth end. See a lot of curling going on. A lot of sheets here. This one coming right in. And not bad. Pretty good spot. Unfortunately for Ryan now, if he opens this up, he's going to have to move his reds, and nothing's going to take any yellows out in the back. So Tough shot here. Tough call. I think you need to do it, though. You can't play. You got to get yourself out of some trouble here. Derek Bauer. See if he had a little better luck with this hit than he had with the draw. Just came up short in that draw, so. Needs to make something happen really well here. Needs to move some rocks. Open things up. And he didn't throw it as hard as I thought he was going to throw it, but ends up with a corner guard that might be able to use later on. Left a red one in a pretty good spot. So overall, I think a pretty good result on that shot. Only bad thing is you do leave this out turn for Brent Pierce to come down to. But you were going to leave something, that's for sure. Brent uses a sliding device and a big one. A long one, I guess I probably should say. It's just kind of a little different shape and fairly lengthy. Looking to try to make a perfect freeze here. Don't know. Don't think he's going to get there, and he will not. Well, that's a pretty big miss, too. I don't know if we get a little ice flattening out a little bit or something, maybe. I don't know. But it's a couple of pretty good players coming up very short on a couple of draws, so I'm not positive that there's not maybe a little something happening. Or they just didn't throw it hard enough, which is also something that happens. So peeling the top here, I think he's trying to probably hit maybe a half a yellow rock onto the red, onto the yellow. Really get some stuff moving out of the way. Probably pretty close to that. Well, not exactly, but a bit unlucky. He didn't get a little more of that, but he did get rid of the guards. You got a rock behind the corner guard, so not all bad. Kalthoff now trying to figure what do we do. His red one, the red one in there is in a pretty nice spot, but early on I thought they were going to play the draw down to the red. Now it looks like they're going to play some kind of a hit. That'd be a peel indication. Trying to just pick it out of there. I don't know. I see the red one in the back, yellow one in the shooter going, and just having a open hit to sit two for Ryan Jacques here in a minute. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm envisioning. It's not wishful thinking. I don't have any one-sidedness as to who wins this thing, but I just don't know that this is going to work. Gets that one, gets that one. Oh, the shooter. Okay, so he had it lined up pretty good that it would jam on that one. That part I couldn't tell. You're going to see this again. Kind of did exactly what I thought. Took the one on the button and plus the back yellow. And their yellow was going out except for the fact that there was a rock there to catch it, which Dustin obviously saw that I didn't. So very well done for him. Not in a position to steal here now, but certainly in a position to maybe force Ryan Jacques, unless he can make a nice hit and roll here for from, or if he can get a nice hit and roll here from Cole Adams. Got to get a little more than that. He's going to be really close to making this double. Or roll on top, which might be even better. Rolled a tiny little bit further than he would have liked, but a little more delicate. We're going to see this. This is probably a little more delicate than I thought they were going to be on this. Just catches, barely touches any of it. Maybe a quarter of a rock, I guess, and rolls over here, but really not much on that. That was probably board weight, which maybe that's about all they would have wanted for that shot. So Pearson Kalthoff now trying to figure out what do we do. Kind of depends on what you're willing to do here. Are you willing to put 2 on the table or not? So he's going after it anyways. Definitely not enough ice for a draw, so he's going after it with some kind of weight, which I don't think, not a ton of weight with that ice, but thinking this is really probably a backline shot, maybe enough weight to move the red out. You don't want to just move it a foot. You want to move it out for sure, because your shooter is, if you move it that way, your shooter is going to stay basically right there pretty much, and might make the double back really quite simple for Jacques, and you don't want to do that. Kalthoff's first. I said working pretty hard. Will he get by that? I don't think he's getting by the guard, and he will not. We'll roll onto the rings. So Ryan Jacques also now with a little bit of a decision making, or decision to make right here. Where yellow sitting 1-2 or 2-3 rather, but I don't think you're going after any of the yellows. I think going to the wing, he's going to go to the wings. Probably not a bad call here, because to be honest, is Kalthoff in any position to really ignore this rock when it stops and come right around the guard? I don't think so. I think he'll be playing a hit on it almost no matter where it is. Take a little more ice. So Ryan Jacques now looking to put this on the tee line, basically. So sweepers need to pay pretty good attention on this one. You really want this to be in the right spot. Not a hard shot by any stretch, but you want to make sure you have no chance of leaving a double. And it looks like they will do that just to perfection. Very nicely done. Goes another rock. It's not so good, but it didn't go another rock. So well done on the case. Good throw for Ryan, and a well-managed stone for everybody else taking it down the sheet. Kalthoff with a problem. As I mentioned, doesn't really have a choice here. He really can't ignore these 2 rocks. One of them, at least, got to hit one of them. He'd like to hit it, roll behind the guard, make Ryan Jacques' shot at 2 more difficult. Dustin Kalthoff now. Take a little more ice. Seen a lot of that little more ice today because I think guys don't want to have to overthrow it. And sometimes when you don't have quite enough ice, you don't ask for more, but you just subconsciously almost say, okay, I got to throw a little bit harder. And you do, and that doesn't always work so well. So not real heavy either, but he should be fine. Oh, no, 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 no. We get it. He got maybe just enough. Well, he got enough that he's number 3, but he pretty easy hit for Ryan Jacques here to score 3. He's playing this as pretty much a full takeout, so he's not giving himself a lot of wiggle room, if you will. That was just played that shot too fancy, I guess, as be really at the end of the day. Just needed to make sure it went away. We're going to be hard pressed to make anything better than that. Ryan's sliders is without a question the cleanest slider in Canada. He cleans her off a lot. A lot of people do that. I do that a lot. A lot of people do that, but he certainly does it as much as anybody. But it's all part of feeling good when you go to throw the rock. And if that's what it takes, you got to do that 2 or 3 times real quick to make yourself feel good about things. You just do it. Derek Bauer now all over this. Let's tell you what, there's not a lot of weight on this either. Can't really see where everything is, but it's going to be a beauty. Well done, Ryan. That was a great shot. Just perfect weight for that shot. And after just giving up 3 in the 5th end, or 4th end rather, Ryan Jacques comes back and gets 3 here in the 5th, and will take a 7-4 lead after 5 ends of play here at the 2025 Saville Grand Prix. We'll be back right after the break.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk? And I'll add spinach and ginger. And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.
So, draw number 2 here at the Saville Grand Prix, and Ryan Jacques with a 7-4 lead over Dustin Kalthoff after 5 ends of play. 6th end, certainly going to be an aggressive end for the Kalthoff team. They really do need to score, and score probably more than 1, preferably more than 2, but at least a couple is almost necessary, 100% necessary. So, we'll see how they get along here. So pretty good throw. Guard up there. A little tight guard on the rings, touching the rings, but corner guard went up. Looks like they're going double corners again. Don't know what that did for them the last time, but they're going to give it another go. No, not going to go. They're going to go in this time. Maybe they were going in the last time. We didn't see the first shot or two, so going back. Problem here for Ryan Jacques, obviously, is he isn't able to go after that corner guard yet until after the fifth rock. But they can touch it. So you can go after this with backline or hack. And if you hit the top one, you're probably not going to knock it out of play. You're going to roll towards the center. So that wouldn't be a bad result. Dustin Kalthoff's working very hard on this, and they will sneak it by. What a great sweeping job. And roll almost behind the guard. Very nicely done. Very nice throw, but you'll see here that Tyson Taves gets on this, and he does not let up. Not a massively big guy, but he's got every ounce of everything on the broom, and that'll work. Cole Adams will try to finish it off, and they will make that. Well done. This one not really going to accomplish too much. So Ryan having a look here, see where these go. If he hits them, he really would like to get rid of the corners. Might be just trying to pick the back one here. Not completely sure. It looks like too much ice to be hitting the front one. So I'm thinking he's just trying to pick the back one. They may not line up real good the way they are. Hit half. Touch that one on the way. And kind of looked a little bit like a crokinole board there for that shot. For any of those out there, of you out here to play crokinole. It's a great game. Lots of fun. Get a sore finger after a while sometimes, but other than that, it's great. So lots to play with, though. The bad news for Ryan Jacques is lots to play with for the Kalthoff team. They've got a corner guard, and they've got massive number of rocks right behind the button, basically, or behind the forefoot. So trying to duck around the corner. This looks pretty good. Peeked out the back a little tiny bit. Ryan Jacques going to rip the corner. If you can make this corner go away and not leave the shooter anywhere, he would be in excellent shape to force Dustin Kalthoff here. Cole Adams with his first here in this end. It's going to go right by everything. Won't be terribly happy with that shot. Probably not coming back to hurt him a whole lot, but at the same time, you don't like to throw shots like that. So a slew of rocks around the back of the button here. The problem is if you just throw it right into that pocket, and if Ryan has the nerve to just go ahead and do the same thing, you may not do any better than get a single point. Single point's just not enough for these guys right now. Never quite tell with this weight. I think the weight's pretty good here. I thought that maybe it was a little bit light. And the sweepers had just kind of thought, oh, that's enough. I'm not going any harder, which I get. That's a very nice draw, but couldn't really do anything else. Not too sure what weight they're looking for. Somewhere around. Looks like something like a board weight shot here. Tapped a few spots on the side, so I'm not 100% sure, but cool with this second shot here in the 6th. Tyson Taves all over it. Probably not quite hold this one, but it may not hurt him a lot either. Well, kind of interesting though, to be honest. There's a lot of yellow ones though, or a lot of red ones, sorry. Just trying to see what happens. He's got a chance to make the red, yellow, red, get both the reds away, save the shooter. And that would only leave 2 red stones in the house, but they're pretty even and pretty difficult to remove them both for sure. Brent Pierce going to come and have a look. Can't really blame him. This has some potential for Team Kalthoff now. It's hard to know exactly how to turn that potential into points. Looking at a lot of different things here. I'm not really sure what would be your best shot here, but if you go after the red one that's on the button, I don't know you want to do that right now with any kind of weight, but if you did, you might be able to roll your shooter to the right as we look at it on the overhead. Roll the shooter to the right. The yellow one still would stay. It might come close to jamming on that red on the white on the right-hand side. That's kind of about it on that. But the other thing is that the red that's on the button might make contact with the red over there that they're indicating now. And if it did that, then all of a sudden you might bring your 3 right back into play very quickly. But that's a lot of ifs, and it means you got to be willing to throw some weight at this shot. And, you know, you're not going to make this with board weight. And he's got it right in the middle of the rock, so he didn't plan on making it with board weight. He's planning on making it with some weight, for sure. So Brent Pierce with his, he got first rock? Well, it looks like just his first one here in the 6th then. Throwing some weight. He might have overcurled. Ooh, that doesn't really help very much. I mean, that's actually kind of unfortunate. That just never really came close to where they wanted to hit it. They're basically trying to hit it pretty close to the nose. And it really just hit about 1/3 of a rock. And unfortunately, left a wide open hit to sit 3 for Ryan Jacques. He might want to roll this shooter somewhere, though. Preferably left, I think, in his case. Ryan Jacques has had pretty nice weight control on these shots today, so might have been a smidge outside. Just looked like a little tiny bit of an outward motion. I don't think anything terrible, but it's a nice thing with that soft weight can make up for that. This looks pretty good. Well, if you've got the nerve, I think there's 3 on the table there. I think they can all go. Couple of different ways. I'm not sure they can't all go on either turn, but I think it's the out turn call if you're going to try to basically play the double here is what you're doing, playing this double, and if you can concentrate on that, the red one just might pick up the other red on the way by. Do think you can make it the other way as well, but well, they've decided they're not going to take any longer now. He does have a fair bit of ice for the shot I was thinking he might possibly play, and that would have been the double/triple. So I'm not so sure that he's playing that. I think more likely that he's playing a hit and roll on top of, well, probably roll on top of the rock that's on which side. Well, it depends. On the overhead, it's on the left. On the full sheet, it's on the right. So try to hit their roll right on top of that and make the 2 seem much more difficult than it was when we talked about it. So Kalthoff not in a great position to score multiple points right now, but maybe if he can make a double on this one, and maybe gets a little bit of a break on the next one, or get a rollout or something, you might turn this into a couple points here yet. And he'll make that. It's a nice shot. Ryan Jacques now will try to do the same thing basically. Well, no double. Just try to hit and stay right in that neighborhood right there. You don't roll out because you'll give up an easy hit for 2. So good shot. Ryan keeps control of the game here. If he can hit and stay and force Dustin Kalthoff just to take 1. Ryan would be in very, very good shape going to the 7th end. If you roll out, you're still probably in okay shape, but you're only up 1 point now, and that's a different ball game. Yeah. For sure. It's on its way. In-turn hit. Sweeper's just cleaning, sort of heavy clean. Must be very, very close. And a very nice shot by Ryan. Jacques. Double is maybe there. Man, you got to throw her. Dustin just tapped it like that's a possibility, and it would be. But you have got to throw it hard. I think he could, though. Looks, watching his delivery, certainly looks like it's very, very solid. There's not any real loss of balance anywhere, and he can probably muster up enough weight to make this. Problem with this is obvious. If you go for this and you don't make it, you may end up giving up a point depending on where you hit it. You can't afford that at all. But everybody seems to buy into it, or have bought into it. So we will see. In turn, almost cross house double for Dustin Kalthoff. He takes just a smidge less ice. I think this will be moving a little bit. And he will make it. Made that look easy too. Watching this, the houses are very lively. You keep thinking of my curling club or most curling clubs, and you look at this and think, well, even if I could throw it fairly hard, I don't know if I can get it to bounce over there. And he did throw it hard, though, to be fair, but really didn't have any trouble getting it over there. So great job by Dustin Kalthoff. And he will crawl to be within 1 point as we get ready for the 7th end. We'll be back after the break.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.
Our game. We're back for end number 7 after a very nice shot by Dustin Kalthoff to score 2 in the 6th end. We're just having a look at the scores here as we go across. We got Libis and Davies all tied up at 4, playing in number 7. We've got our game there. We've got Murata versus Craig, and that looks like about 4-1 for, well, actually it's 6-2 now for Craig. Park is leading and maybe finished by the look of that, 7-3. Got Goskins and Balance. Goskins with an 8-3 final in that one, and Van Amsterdam with a 8-1 final in favor of Van Amsterdam over Tim in that one. So you're all caught up. We're back. So Ryan Jake's got to be trying to figure out how to shake Dustin Kalthoff and not have him claw back in here. Started with a 3 in the first end and Ended up giving up a 3 in the 4th, came back, got 3 in the 5th, and then gave up 3 in the 6th. So 3 is the lucky number of the day, or the unlucky number of the day, depending on which side of it you're on. So coming right around here. Tyson Taves with his second shot. And it's going to be an interesting end. Kalthoff pretty much has to go all out to steal. So there's always a challenge here because there's, the typical two schools of thought here. You can go totally all out to try to steal. But at the same time, if you can find a way to force to one, maybe not such a bad idea either. But generally speaking, you're going to end up having to steal at least once. So I'm a pretty strong proponent of going as hard as you can early here to try to steal one and hope it all works out at the end of the day. So Jacobson here just with his first in the 7th. Not really where he wanted it. It's never good when they get staggered. That always seems to be a problem. Plus, they're easier to take out. So you're going to see Ryan now. Ryan Jacques looking to peel. Like everything to go. He doesn't really need even to have a corner. If he does, so be it. But it might end up coming back to haunt him by forcing him to take a point. And he doesn't want to do that. Derek Bauer, the out turn, peel, and they're trying to work it over there a little bit. Should be okay. He needs to hit a little bit more of it. I'll follow it in and try to get it out. Not going to probably get it out, but get it back a little bit. Just didn't hit it quite thick enough. Needed to get another, I don't know what, another half an inch of it or so, maybe an inch. Or 2.5 centimeters for everybody that's out there in metric world. Kalthoff looking to sit one right on top of the reds, probably right in the middle. Very nice. Going to be very hard to remove that without removing both of yours. So Ryan's not going to try right now. He's going to try to just hit the one at the back. Sit one side or the other. I'm not sure which yet. He keeps going back and forth, but he is playing this one, and I think he wants to roll a little bit to our right as we look at it in the long view. Sneaking the ice in just a hair. Bauer lets it go. Figured they didn't take a lot of ice, and if he threw it light, they were going to have to pound this, and they really have. This is not going to hit anything except for the zone. Just way too light. I don't even know why they would even think of throwing it that light, to be honest, in this situation, but it did keep a lot of red rocks around. You've got red is number 1 and number 2 and number 4, but at the same time, there's a little more around than you really like to have around if you're Ryan Jacques right now, but the draw coming up. This will be for Brent Pierce. Throwing an out-turn freeze to the rock on the button. You can see with another about 6 feet of curl here on these shots. It's a lot of curl. A lot of finish, which is great. It can be a real challenge if you're not used to it, but these curlers are all used to it. But I tell you, you get going at levels below this where you're not playing this all the time, and all of a sudden maybe somebody does some work on your rocks or whatever, and it curls like this. Man, it can be a challenge. It can be fun, though. I always figure it's just fun. Some of the regular curlers at our club, when we do the rocks, they get all upset And don't know why we're doing that and why the rocks are going to curl 5 feet and all that kind of stuff. We keep trying to convince them that's fun. That's what keeps people in the game. That's what keeps newer curlers that are showing up and playing. And just the thought you can make a rock go behind a guard, even when if it's not supposed to. They don't care. It's just fun. They think they did work magic, and that's what it's all about. So, so curling is the name of the game for a reason, and we like to have lots of curl. So Ryan Jacques looking to remove the yellow at the top of the 8-foot, trying to avoid his own rock right in behind it, if he possibly can. Cole Adams with his first. Trying to keep it straight here. Can he sneak it by that guard? Can he sneak it by? And he will. Actually, almost overcurled a little bit, but very nice. Very nice. Rock ended up in a good place to be able to use it if you have to. I think you would have preferred not to roll quite that far, of course, but it was a bit scary. You had to worry about jamming it on your own at one point. So Brett Pierce with his final rock here in the, whoops, going to have a little bit of a second thought at it. Oh, Dustin back. Same shot, same call. He just wanted a little tiny bit more time to look and make sure he knew exactly where he wanted this to be. Yeah, that one didn't really, I don't know what happened to that rock. That was supposed to be a draw to the rock and the button, and I don't know if he threw it funny or what. It wasn't excessively heavy, but it sure didn't get anywhere near where they wanted to be. And has left Ryan Jacques with the very confusing situation of sitting 1, 2, 4, 5. What do I do? And he is going to go to about even with the other rock that's in the 8-foot. So let's say, call it the top of the 4. Cole Adams. Ryan indicating it needs to curl. And it might be heavy as well. This is out there where Brent threw his. Coming a little bit more than Brent's did, but not as much as they thought. It's probably okay, but definitely a little heavy. Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of red rocks there. For Dustin Kalthoff, who's losing by 1, trailing by 1 as we play N7 without last rock. And facing right now 3 reds. Not really guarded by much, but guarded a little bit, and all in the 4-foot. Dustin with 2 rocks to come. Looking at trying to play a little just kind of a chap and roll here. Off of the one that Cole Adams just threw. Just basically hit and flop to the edge of the button on the other side of the center line, or on the center line even would be fine. You might not be shot, but you'd be really close. And you might at least succeed in being sure not to give up more than 1. But a lot of ifs right now, and he needs a good shot. He's played some good shots, so. In this efforts to stay in this game, come back and stay in. Kalthoff with Jacobson and Eade on the brooms. Eade sweeping now. Jacobson cheering. He's going to be close to getting exactly what he wanted here, I think. Well, pretty nice effort. Ended up with shot rock, I believe, and not necessarily real easy for Ryan here. He could play the raise on the red. The red that's at the top of the 8 foot there and onto the yellow, and it probably goes through the hole. It would be a problem if it didn't go through the hole, but it probably does. Play it a couple ways. You could whack it, make it go away that way. Then if it came off the back one, as long as it didn't touch the top red, and it came off the back red, it's probably going to go, and you're going to be sitting a minimum of 2. Maybe more, actually, because it's probably going to, if it touches the back when the yellow moves too. So, yeah, probably going to sit a whole bunch if you make it well. Could come around on the in-turn and just make sure you get shot rock. You're going to peel this one, which might be the best shot. It just surprises me a little bit, since they didn't play the peel a few other times when I thought they might. But anyway, Ryan Jacques running this yellow has to make sure, I think, he doesn't hit anything in the house, because the stuff he would hit in the house would be his own. I don't know that that would be terribly helpful. Right, needs a good one here. He's going to have a tough shot, I think, on his next shot regardless. And the yellow one's gone, so good shot for Ryan Jacques. And now Dustin Kalthoff has to figure it out. If he were to draw right into the area between the yellow and the red, just sit right there, basically. I don't think it can go anywhere. If you can put it there, it's just got to be really good. But even if you bumped it a little tiny bit, not far, just a very little bit, it could be exceedingly difficult for Jacques to be able to get the yellow out, or to get both yellows out in that case. Lots of experience in the house here, so these guys will probably come up with a good plan. Looks like he's going to play I think he's going to play a hit on the red. Gotta be a bit careful, but I think I'd prefer the little draw, and maybe a little draw with a possibly of, you know, a 6, 7, 8 inch tap better than this shot, but it's probably just me. Years ago, I think I would have preferred this shot for sure. I would have gravitated towards the in-turn takeout. It would be my favorite shot for many, many years at a reasonable rate of speed. I never ever was able to throw it hard, but that's what I would have preferred in this shot. But now, as I've gotten a little older, I think I'd be more likely to play the draw here. And I actually think you have a better chance of scoring with the draw than you do with this shot, and maybe scoring too. So, but anyway, whatever. Dustin Kalthoff has decided to not draw, and I think playing the hit on the red, not a big weight hit by any stretch. They need to hold this straight for sure. I'm not quite sure where the house is, but this looks like it's curling a lot. It is curling a ton. It's going to hit the top yellow, which is not going to be nearly as bad as it should have been. I'll tell you that. I think red is shot, but we're covering all the shots. That was rapid fire. Well, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. It's like, just slow down, boys. Think it out for a second and then figure it out. I'm not sure why you would ever play that red one. I think you would just draw on the intern. Draw to the back yellow right there, and you're fine. I don't think you ever want to touch that. Well, never quite, because we don't hear, and you kind of wonder sometimes, well, what the heck are they saying? But I don't have a clue what any of all of that meant. And I don't even... I'm just a bit surprised by the shot selection, but whatever. Yeah, he may have a preference for outturn versus intern. Could be lots of things, but this to draw right onto the edge of the button on the intern to me looks like the easiest of the bunch of shots, and it also looks like the shot with the less chance of damage to your own self. We have seen a couple of draws hang out there, to be fair. We did see a couple of draws that just never did what we expected, or the players expected, one for each team, really. So that might enter into the play as well. Ryan Jacques now sitting one, drawing, or tapping rather, to get two here in the 7th end with his final rock. He's not throwing it hard. Got the little extension thing going on. Derek Bauer gets started on it. He's close for weight, I think. If the line's good, he's really close. This could be a dandy if he's got the exact right weight, and just a beautiful shot, but not beautiful enough. They needed to kind of sweep that. They needed to hold it out there. So they did not get the call right on the brooms, surprisingly so. I thought it was going to be dead on there, but and they're kicking him away, and I'm pretty sure that Jake scored one there. We'll just give it a second. Maybe we'll hang the score before we have to go to commercial. But no, it looks like they're getting ready to throw first anyways. So pretty sure that Ryan Jacques, yes, he did score one the lat end, and he'll take an 8-6 lead. We'll be back for the final end after the break.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games, and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Yeah. So Ryan Jakes now with a 2-point lead, playing the potential of the final end. I said the last end is not necessarily the last end, but it is the 8th end, which is the last end of the regular scheduled game. But we will see what happens. And we've got a rock in the house, and I don't know where Kalthoff's first rock is. We'll see in a minute when we get to the other end if it's in play or not. Suspenseful, and it's not. So obviously, I can't believe he threw it through, so I have to assume he probably hogged that first rock. I didn't have the anything on to see that, but which is certainly not what you want to do. As the lead, Logan Eve would not want to be hogging that rock, that's for sure. But he did, or he may have, probably did. And he'll throw a corner up now, and fortunately, he's only down a couple points, so it's not necessarily a complete killer because you will get a chance to at least get one guard up. So in theory, you should be able to get a 2. A lot of that in theory stuff doesn't always work, but very nice. Nice line too. That's about where I like the corner guards, basically guarding the 8 foot, still 8 foot, but just 8 foot. That's my preference, unless you're, the only time it's not is if you really have to try to protect a draw path, and right now they don't have the luxury of worrying about the draw path. They have to figure out how to get something going here. So Derek Bauer now with his first. Kind of try to come around that corner and kind of choke off that path. It's a good shot. Kind of a shot we see a little bit these days, where the team without hammer will go around that corner and try to cut that corner off for the opposition. Something a few years ago we would have said don't ever go around that corner without hammer, but things change. So Kalthoff, Team Kalthoff now coming around the red one. And this is pretty good for line, but might be a touch warm. And cannot be through the house. Couple of massive misses here by the Team Kalthoff, trailing by 2. And you say we're assuming the first one hogged, but whatever happened to it, it wasn't in play. And that one wasn't in play. So after 3 rocks, 2 of them never ever were put in play. That's never a great plan for success. Derek Bauer will be peeling something here, I'm sure. Once we have a look at it, we'll see where he's going. There is a corner over there that he's probably going after. And he will get it, no problem at all. A few rocks around, though, for Kalthoff to use, Brent Pierce to call. They're not any of them his, but got to use what you can use. So I would think might like one more corner up here somewhere, but he's going to go all the way around to the back. It will be well protected if he can get back there without going through. Heed and Kalthoff on the brooms. Going to be very close with this. Sneak it by the second one, and he will. Oh, a little rub. Unlucky. But still, with the little hook at the end, got a third buried. That was almost a beautiful shot. I thought he was going to get by. Just barely rubbed it. Ryan is going to go after the rock in the house. He could, if he so wanted to. He could run his front one onto his other red one and then get the yellow and get rid of all that stuff out front, but no need right now. Just let's make sure he makes the rock go in the house go away, and unfortunately we'll leave them with the identical shot. That's the only thing. Tyson Taves on the brush and off the brush, so very nice throw. Nice shot by Adams. Starting to run out of rocks for Team Kalthoff, but no different than the last shot, previous shot really. He does have some stuff to work with, so Brent Pierce can put this one back where Jacobson was trying to get to and almost did. They will be in a pretty decent spot to have at least a chance at scoring a couple. 3 is starting to look a little bit off the table, but not quite yet. This one has to curl. Taves jumps in to sweep that. Still not sure about the legality of that, to be honest. Not sure that you can have just anybody go and sweep that rock. I'll have to look that up because that does have me curious. Looking to tap this out. This is on the front, I think, and it is. It didn't really open up the back one much anyway. Checking the rule situation there for anybody out there that really wants to know. According to what I find, I'm really not so sure that you can do that. For the non-delivering team, it says only the skipper. Vice skip can sweep opponent's teams behind the tee line. So I'm not sure that Tyson Taves was allowed to be out in there sweeping that. But anyway, didn't matter because it didn't go out when that was just enough to tease Jacques into going for it and didn't make it. But it is number 1, 2, 3. Probably, I don't know exactly where it is, but certainly no better than number 4 right now. Brent Pierce, it's his final rock here in the 8th end. As we said before, all these rocks that are around right now are not necessarily helping the team that has the lead. He's not doing too much with this. Looking to get this to curl. They're having a little hard time over here sometimes with this, trying to get this to curl the right amount. So that's a second or third rocks that they've just left hanging out there, and I can't tell. We don't really have an angle to tell whether or not it's how he's throwing that shot or if they're just getting fooled on it. So for Ryan Jacques, so bonus, he gets a wide open hit. And if he can pick the back one off, he'll secure no worse than a tie. Jake's settling into the hack here. Always has a little stretch with the arm. Coming out, little relaxation of the arm, and then the extension. Might have to curl a little. Derek Bauer trying to get it in there, and well done, and makes the double. So that's the good news. You're going to see this again. I couldn't remember where the rock was exactly, so Bowers just jumps in here a little bit of sweeping. Hits it just off nose. Perfect shot. Very nicely done by Ryan Jacques. Trying to figure out where they can put this rock where, you know, A, it can't be removed, or it doesn't get removed at least, and B, someplace where they have a realistic shot of, even if they get a miss, realistic shot of scoring two. So they probably can't get shot rock here and have that happen, but looks like they're going to play I think just a freeze on, I'm not sure. I think a freeze on the rock on the center line is the call here. And not a dead straight freeze, because that wouldn't help them. They have to be at a bit of an angle so that if they have to run it, it can run in and make a double. Well, it's a little too hard to kind of talk it over here. Basically, they have to be able to figure out where this rock can go first, where Ryan Jacques can't get rid of it. And then somehow figure out how to turn that into two on the next shot. Not going to be easy, I'll tell you that, for Dustin Kalthoff. Maybe go through that hole wouldn't be bad. Well, pretty open hit really for Jacques. Might have been better off to sweep that actually through that hole, but that obviously wasn't the plan, and that's not necessarily something that's going to be easy to think of. So Ryan Jacques with an open hit to secure victory number 1, but victory number 2. We'll call it victory number 2 on the sheet, because all these teams are going to get one victory over the Stalker team that was not able to make it. This game definitely running a little long. We're about 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's getting up there. But we're almost done. We should be almost done. Ryan Jacques with the basically open hit. He's probably going to spill one of his own in behind it a little bit, but just keep the weight up a little bit here. Throw it straight. Shouldn't be a hard shot to remove. On its way, Derek Bauer jumping on it pretty hard early. Still going pretty hard. And no problem at all. Very nice shot by Ryan Jacques. So Jacques will win this one 8-6 over Dustin Kalthoff. Kalthoff, first game in the event, so first loss. He's got 3 more games in this round-robin pool format. But that will conclude this one. We have one more draw today here on Curling Stadium from the Saville Grand Prix. So on behalf of myself, Jim Nix, and Connor Sims in production, we will bid you a farewell from this one and see you back here on Curling Stadium in just a few hours.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.